G'day ladies and gents, welcome to War Thunder with Mags, and welcome to the second of our Subscribers' Choice videos. Today we're featuring the third and fourth most requested aircraft. Now you're probably asking, third or fourth? What happened to second? Well, second was the TA-152, and that has been notoriously hard to actually get a good recording of to make a video out of at this stage. So there is one coming, it just hasn't arrived yet. For the moment, we're starting off with one that actually surprised me that it came up, the Focke-Wulf 190 A-1, the first of the Butcherbirds. Now, I'm squatted up with Grievous and Snuggles in this match. Snuggles has gone off wide, Grievous went through and took out the bombers, and I went to high altitude to give Grievous some cover at the start of the match. But the fighters have now arrived, and I'm moving to intercept. First target engagement with the P-47. Now, first shots were fired, he's managed to break away, and he's going to extend out a gap. I am following, but I'm not following too hard at the moment. I'm keeping the dive fairly shallow. When I reach the point where I want to intercept him, I still want to have altitude underneath me so I can dive away as needed. He turns around, goes nose to nose. That was a big mistake. I take his right wing, and there's my first kill of this match. Now, I was quite glad to test this aircraft because I've been told that there were some adjustments that had been made to the entire Focke-Wulf series, including the A-1, and I really wanted to find out what they had done, and have they changed something. I can't put the finger on exactly what they've adjusted, but the roll rate seems to be much smoother. The overall manoeuvrability of the aircraft is better. Everything about the aircraft is slightly improved. The combination is very nice. However, the changes have resulted into one small problem that I have noticed and I have bug reported at this stage. BF-109, I believe it's an E series at low altitude engaging a Spitfire. Second Spitfire is manoeuvring in to try and get an angle on him. I'm moving to try and clear his tail. I'd like to try and keep him alive if it's entirely possible. 750 metres out, zoom the camera in so I've got a better shot, fine shooting. Shoot a little wide here, do get a good hit on it. It is a 5B, it manoeuvres out, that thing is easily more manoeuvrable than I am. Take the A1 straight through a half loop, I see Snuggles coming in from behind, loop over the top, put the Spitfire in front of his guns, dive in and engage the second Spitfire. Unfortunately it looks like the 109 has been shot down, so I need to get over there and try and avenge him and get him out of the area. Unfortunately Snuggles goes down behind me as well. So I'm now here trapped between three hostile targets. Currently closing rapidly on the Spitfire in front. I need to eliminate it first. If it turns around and joins this fray, I will not survive this. I need to eliminate this Spitfire, I need to avoid the second Spitfire and try and run. The P-47 is the problem here, it will try and prevent me from running. 5 out, take careful aim, he's going to maneuver, 1 hit. Thank you very much, there's my second kill of the match. And I was wrong, Snuggles had taken hits at this stage, but he has managed to break out from combat and is trying to run, but the P-47 is in close pursuit. He's had to dive down incredibly low in order to try and extend out speed. Unfortunately, it's unlikely he's going to be able to get away. He's just taken a second critical hit, and there we go, he's down. So that's my only backup in this area eliminated, and I have a train of 3 fighters. And it was at this very moment that I realised why I had a chain of 3 fighters. That's the enemy airfield. I've crossed the entire map and I'm sitting over the top of their airbase. Now this was a total situational awareness failure on my behalf. I should have been aware of where the enemy runway was and where I was on the map at all times, but I lost track, and this is what happened. I'm now sitting over top of the enemy airfield with the enemy players on my tail, and that's why they're focused on me so hard at the moment. It's got nothing to do with anything else. I'm blocking their way home. So I point the nose up sharply. I'm trying to escape into the clouds at the moment. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like there's actually enough cloud up here to escape through. Just keeping track of the enemy, and there it is, with break line of sight. So I am only going to have a very limited window here. Immediately turn 90 degrees back in the direction towards my runway. Try and keep the cloud up above. Go as hard as I can. I can't really afford to open up the weapons at the moment. I am trying to turn to stay in the thickest point of the clouds. Due to the fact the engine's overheating, I just cannot web to run. Unfortunately, he got visual for a split second through the clouds, which has given away what I was doing in the turn that I was making. So pointing the nose down and diving away, I'm hoping the A1 has enough to be able to outrun this particular 47. And it looks like it does, and even better, the enemy Spitfire appears to have gone in for a landing, so that puts me and this P-47 out here alone. I'm not sure if in the long run I'll be able to get away from it, but in the short run I am definitely extending range. And this is where I start getting a crazy idea. That P-47 is far enough behind me for me to safely make a turn and get into combat position at the moment. I only have 12 20mm shells left on board, but I have 3,603 7.7mm rounds. Yep, that's right, I'm going to take on this P-47 with nothing but my rifle caliber guns. So, completely roll it over. I've got one shot to use these 12 cannon rounds. Aim carefully, I managed to spray them across the front of the plane. I was hoping to get a lucky engine hit. Unfortunately, the new flight model bug started to kick in. Now, for those of you who haven't noticed it already when I've been flying, there is a instructor-based twitch in the rudder control surface now, since whatever changes Gaijin has made to the flight model. Overall, the flight model's performance is much better, and as you'll see here, this was a brilliant dogfight. I really enjoyed this. But when you're trying to do fine shooting to put guns on target and you're really working the rudder, it is not uncommon now for the rudder to just spaz out and flip the plane off in a random direction. So I'm just jockeying for position on the P-47 at the moment. We've been exchanging pieces in the vertical. Now it's my turn to dive back in. He's in the process of pulling up and using that energy back. This guy was actually a pretty good pilot. His name seems awfully familiar as well, but I'm not sure from where. So stand on the control surfaces, back on the elevator, trying to loop it back over. Combat flaps are deployed. I am still running wet, so I'm trying to maintain speed and energy in the vertical maneuver. Move back in on the dive. Roll it around so I get an intercept angle. And there we go, I've managed to get a shot. Trying to get the first hits in on target. Alright, now I'm on his tail. The important thing here is not to overshoot him, so I'm trying to scissor into a vertical scissors. And there he goes, he breaks out. I pull back on the throttles to avoid an overshoot, swing the plane back around, get ready to intercept his path, fire a shot. No connection. He shoots underneath, roll it back over to intercept. Staying off the WEP this time, not just to keep the engine cool, I don't want to overshoot him. Managed to put another clip in there, although no hit did register, it was just sparks. And here we go. Another big burst in, rippling up and down the fuselage. I am trying to put shots into that big elevator on the back of the plane and take it out if possible. It's the easiest thing for me to destroy at the moment with only rifle caliber ammunition. Another set of hits there. I thought he had lost it, but he manages to pull it out of the forest. Try and take the lead again, try and get more hits on, put the tail, thought he lost it again, but he manages to recover and level out the plane, so bring it back down. Lining up a shot. Now I just got a glimpse at the top of my screen. There is a Spitfire that is on its way back in, so I start shooting wildly here. I have to kill this guy, I have to kill him now, otherwise that Spitfire is going to get here and it is fully armed and it will slaughter me. And I finally managed to achieve the goal and wreck the elevator, and down he goes. And that's my third kill. So rifle caliber ammunition is effective on things like the P-47. It just takes a crap ton of shots. I've only got 1,800 rounds left. Unfortunately, the Spitfire has now arrived, so I am nose down, WEP is on, the engine's overheated. At this point in time, I really don't care. I'm just trying to get the hell out of here with my head still intact. I don't want to get shot down at this time. So where have the rest of my team been through all of this? Well, we have one G2 flying around giving me cover at the moment, a player by the name of F-Thunder, who was awesome. He was trying to back me up the whole way through that fight. But what about the other 4 members of the team over here? Well, Grievous, who unfortunately wasn't able to survive the rest of the match, he had an unrecoverable crash back on the runway, has been following them in spectator mode and has let me know that they've been using their E-Series 109s and their F1s and F2s to try and shoot down the AI B-17s in order to force a win. Now, of course, at this level, those aircraft don't have enough firepower to be able to take out the entire B-17 squadron. In fact, it's amazing they managed to survive the encounter and make kills. They've emptied all their ammunition and they've only managed to successfully shoot down 2 of the B-17s in the formation. And since me and the G2 have been engaged with fighters for the entire end part of this match, it means that that A-20G that's been flying around, and there is actually 2 of them, have been going around slaughtering ground targets left, right and centre. They've managed to successfully take out all the key components, or all the key ground targets for this map, and by the time I make it back to this runway, get rearmed and back off the ground to go and try and hunt them, the match is already over. So let's go check out the results. So, the results for that loss. First place on the team with 3 kills, Ground Forces Rescuer, Fighter Rescuer, Windstreak X3, the Punisher Epic Award, Terror of the Sky, and Bulletproof. Grievous comes in with a respectable 3 kills as well. And unfortunately, Snuggles got bounced really hard trying to come in to defend me, so he goes down with no kills to his name. 37,575 Silver Lions and 2,175 research points. So, the Focke-Wulf 190 A-1, what do I think of it? What do I think of the changes that have been done to it? I think the changes are very good. Overall, the aircraft is vastly better than it was before, and it wasn't a bad plane to begin with. The only issue I have is the rudder at the back of the aircraft. Whatever they changed in the flight model has not agreed with the instructor, and the rudder rock that can form when you don't need it to, trying to find shoot, is one of the most annoying things I've run into in the game. I haven't seen anything quite like it since the old D13 flight model. And this is another bug that without a doubt managed to slip through the cracks entirely because the flight model was not tested enough, or not enough time was given for the testers to actually fully test the flight model. As long as Gaijin keeps up their current practices, bugs like this are going to continually make their way into every change that they make, which is, well, it's disappointing. Now, why the Focke-Wulf 190 A1 may have surprised the hell out of me at making my top 4 requested aircraft, this is an aircraft that did not. This is the Messerschmitt 262 C2b. This is the twin rocket propelled 262, and it's an interesting machine. Almost 20 seconds on the runway with the brakes applied in order to spool the engines. I will have to run the entire length of this runway, and this runway on Bulge is one of the longest in the game. I will need to run all the way to the end, and it will only get me just enough speed to be able to get this thing off the ground. This thing has a longer takeoff range than an Arado. Its battle rating is 8.0, and once it gets into the air, it's a full 100 kilometers an hour stock slower than the 262 A1. It's also one of the most fun machines I've ran into in a long time. Just giving it all the lift I can to get it off the ground. You can see I only managed, in the entire length of that runway, I only managed to hit 270. At that climb angle, I am losing speed at the moment. I have to nose down. Look at the angle that I'm having to travel at, just simply in order to very slightly gain speed and gain altitude. I am going nowhere. This thing is fat, it's heavy, it's horrible. There's no way known this machine is going to be effective in combat. But then there's those little nozzles down there, isn't there? 262's climbing ahead of me, just having a look around, getting a feel for the cockpit. Minus those engine nacelle changes, it's pretty much the same as the standard 262 from all angles. Alright, screw this.
Helm Warp 1, engage!
Alright, boosters are ignited. Now the first thing you need to know about these is once they are turned on, they cannot be turned off. They run non-stop. Second thing, they got about 2 minutes worth of fuel and then they burn out. However, for those 2 minutes, this thing has effectively 2 163 rocket engines strapped on top of its jet engines, and this thing will pull away once it gets its speed wound up. Once you pass 600 to 630 kilometers an hour, you can pull this thing into a 37-degree climb, and it will maintain that speed and slightly accelerate with no problems at all. Also, once you reach altitude and the engines have burned themselves out, it looks like most of the weight that is keeping the plane slow at the start of the match is in the fuel load. Once the rockets have exhausted their fuel load, while the aircraft is still slightly slower than a standard 262 A1, and its manoeuvrability is slightly less, it is very, very, very comparable. Now, I should say at this time, this was the second time that I had ever flown this aircraft, so I was cackling away, having a laugh, just looking at the climb rates of this thing. It's insane. 12,000 feet, no problems at all, still got int. Now, I'm going to try and intercept this F9F, and this is one of the problems with the rocket boosters. You cannot use them to intercept aircraft. Look at the rate that I am gaining speed here at such a shallow dive angle. The rocket engines supply so much thrust to the 262 that it is actually capable of breaking its wings in a level flight, let alone a dive. The acceleration on the plane is stupid. As you can see, I've already pushed it out to 850. Keep in mind it's just over 900 kilometers an hour, as the wings will start falling off and this plane will actually break up. With the rocket engines ignited, you must go up. Going down or staying in level flight will kill you. There's no two ways about it. As you can see, I'm in level flight there and I'm still accelerating up past 900. That's something that a stock 262 cannot do under normal circumstances. But when you got to climb, don't be afraid to burst at high angles either. As you can see, I am dropping speed rapidly here at the moment, which is actually a good thing. I was going way too fast there before, but I'm also climbing at over 45 degrees. That's broken me all the way up past 20,000, 21,000 feet. The rocket engines are still going. This has gotten me to 22,000 feet at the moment. And I was dicking around trying to intercept a Panther and a Sabre at low altitude before and not climbing at optimal angles. And there we go, the engines are now burnt out, so we're now back to just normal engine power. The speed will start ticking down, but it's gotten us into a position where we're able to engage pretty much whatever we want, when we want. For those wondering exactly how high those rocket engines get you on a single 2-minute fuel load on a stock aircraft, the match after this one, I took off, I hit the boosters at about 1,000 feet, I finished up at 32,000 feet in 2 minutes. So with the boosters out of juice, all I have left is what the boosters gave me, and that is altitude, so I'm trying to turn that over now. F-86A5, 3.2 kilometres out, continually dive through, and I'm able to get it up over 900 kilometres an hour, which is a nightmare to try and achieve under normal circumstances in a 262. But the rocket engines have allowed me to get enough altitude to be able to do it, and I'm coming very close to catching this guy. Have to close distance enough at the moment to try and get him guns on before he disappears in the clouds. I take a burst high, but he rolls it over and goes low. I flip the plane over to follow, ducking out, losing him in a blackout there, pull back on the sticks and go back for the climb. He's manoeuvring hard, which is a big mistake. Against a 262, you just cannot manoeuvre. Turns back the other way, and you can see this thing is stock, and I'm able to keep through. Leading edge slats are extended. He has managed to extend away. He dove past and extended out, so he's done the right thing to try and escape me at the moment. I cannot follow him, or can I? Closing back into 700 metres, 600 metres, 500. He's managing to continue his loop through tight. And a MiG-15 Biz that was in the clouds right above us dives through and takes him out while he's in the middle of his loop. So dive it back in the ground, get my energy back up, and there's a shrapnel from his wreckage flying through the clouds. Put the nose back down. There is another F-86A over here that I wouldn't mind trying to get a piece of. 644, keeping the nose down, passing 700, sharp dive angle, pushing past 800, trying to get the speed up enough that I'll be able to get one good pass on this F-86A. I would really like to get a kill out of this match. 5K's out from target. He's got the whole team on him at the moment. He's manoeuvring well. He's managing to prevent the 2 MiG-15s that are on him from being able to get a kill. What's more impressive, at that range in a turning fight, the 163 hasn't managed to kill him. He arcs it over and tries to take a shot at me, diving through, but I get my blood. First kill in the stock C2b 262 is a Sabre A5, and I was proud of that. Not that it was a particularly complicated shot. He went nose to nose with something that's got more burst mass than the Moon. But still a worthy foe to blood a new aircraft with. So let's go check out the results. Well, only 4th place for the team and no awards, but this match wasn't about trying to pull a massive result out of this plane. This was just testing the flight model. The fact that I got a kill at all was impressive. So, what do I think of the aircraft? Well, it's definitely a gimmicky aircraft. It flies reasonably well. I'm not sure where it should be in the game. Battle rating 8, I would have said, if you'd asked me before I'd flown this plane out, do I think battle rating 8 for this aircraft is over tiered? I would say yes, without a doubt. Now, having seen exactly how high those rocket engines can put this plane so quickly, even in stock format, I just don't know anymore. For the first 2 minutes of the match, no, battle rating 8 is under-tiered. For the rest of the match, I'm not sure where I would put this. What I can say for sure is this plane is a hell of a lot of fun to fly. It really is, but that fun comes at a cost. This Sing dead stock is 46,500 credits to repair. Now, to give you a comparison on this aircraft, the CL-13 is only 68. And I'll show you this right now. As you can see there, 46,250 silver lions to repair the C2b. Fully upgraded CL is 65,000 credits. It's not much cheaper than a fully upgraded CL when it's stock. Upgraded, this plane will actually be more expensive to repair than a fully upgraded CL-13. So as fun as it is, it does not come cheap. Besides the rocket boosters on it, as I said during the video itself, this plane is effectively the same aircraft as the 262 A-1. It is slightly slower, it feels slightly heavier in rolls due to having the rocket engines mounted in the engine nacelles, but that's it. When it's on a full fuel load, it is a pig of an aircraft, but once it's burnt out its rocket boost and you've taken it to whatever altitude you've got it to, it's just another 262. Anyways, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed this video. Click like if you do, subscribe if you want to see more. Fly smart, fly safe, and I'll catch you in the skies.